In previous video, we created our new AWS account, we created and logged on as a root user, and we added MFA authentication for that root user. So what is next most important thing is that we should know how much money AWS services will cost us, if any. So we can either try to not spend any money there, just using free tier eligible services, but maybe we are okay to spend some money, but we don't want to exceed certain threshold, like maybe $10 a month, let's say. But one way or another, we definitely want to be in control of our budget. And that's what AWS Budget service exactly is for. So being logged on to our console, still as a root user, we can type here in the services, we can search for budget. And we can see here budgets as of bidding and cost management feature, or we can simply click that bidding and cost management service, which budget is part of. So maybe let's click the top one. Doesn't really matter. Here you usually see some summary, how much last month it cost you, what's prediction for this month, but because this is new account, there is no data available yet. But doesn't really matter, because what we need is budgets here in the left down corner. So let's click that budget. And as you can see, we can create a new budget here by clicking this button. Now we have a choice of using a template, or we can customize, so using advanced settings. Let's stick to just simplified version. And now, what type of template do we want to use? So by default you can see zero spent budget. Create a budget that notifies you once your spending exceeds 1 cent, which is above the AWS free tier limit. And that sounds good, doesn't it? Because that means if I spend any money on anything, I will get a notification. So also that's important to remember, the AWS budget will not disable any resources for us. It's not meant to be. It will only notify us every time we exceed certain threshold we configure here. So the first threshold will be that 1 cent. If we use any service that we have to pay for, it will send an email to the email address we specify here below. So maybe before we go there is a budget name as well. It's called My Zero Spend Budget, which is okay, but let me just personalize it. Maybe Marek Zero Spend Budget. Doesn't really matter, it's just a name. And here is where we enter the email address. And as you can see, it doesn't have to be one. You can put multiple email addresses here. You just have to separate them using commas. I will just use one. Let's say Marek@Avenue. That's it. If I wanted another one, I just use comma and blah blah blah. Yeah, but we'll just use this one. And that's it really, I believe, because yes, we can leave everything else as it is. And you can see a confirmation. You will be notified via email when any spend above 1 cent is incurred. That's fine, that's what I want. So we create a budget. And that's it. We've got our budget, and don't ask me why it always shows $1 rather than 1 cent. I don't know why it is like that, but it should be for 1 cent. But that's not a big deal, it works as expected actually. But maybe we want to create another budget. What if we want to sometimes use some services, but we don't want to exceed $10 a month? So we can create just another budget and set threshold to that. So let's click Create Budget. We'll leave it as a template, simplified, which is much easier. And now we will change from zero spend budget to maybe this one, monthly cost budget. What's interesting about it, as you can see, it notifies you if you exceed or are forecasted to exceed the budget amount. So, if you start a new month and on the first day you exceeded $1, this AWS budget can see you will actually exceed $10 by the end of the month. So it will send you notification before you actually reach that $10 threshold, because it's forecasted for you to exceed that by the end of the month. I hope that makes sense. Because our ultimate goal is not to exceed $10 a month. So that's exactly what we need. So now we can scroll down. Let's call it $10 budget, yeah? So it's clear for us what it is about. Now we just adjust this value to $10. And again, just list of emails we want that notification to be sent to. And that's it. And here below, you've got a summary of how it works. You will be notified when your spend reaches 85%. So if you are at 850, let's say, you will get email. Then it will be at 100% at $10. But the third option, if your forecasted spend is expected to reach 100%. But that's very handy and useful for us, so that's exactly what I need. So just create a budget. And this way you can create as many budgets as you want and get notified every time you reach any of those thresholds.